Welcome back to Free to Roam and to the Detroit airport as we plan to fly from here all the way over to Paris, France in Delta One. We'll check out the seat, the in-flight entertainment, the amenity kit, and of course the food to see what it's all about. I recently made a move to the Detroit area from Washington, D.C., so what better way to break in the DTW airport than to fly one of the most dominant and imposing airlines here, Delta. And what better way to explore Delta than to take the best they have to offer in Delta One. And let me just tell you something, the new Delta One suites are super nice. I'm not even lying, you'll see later in the video, but these things are sweet, pun intended. Now, don't go on to your little computer and book Delta One and pay $5,000 and then go get mad at me because the product sucks, because it can suck. You have to make sure you're booking the correct plane type. You want to look for either the Airbus A330-900neo, like the one you'll see in this video, or the Airbus A350. Otherwise, you're likely to get some dinosaur Delta One product that is not really worth the money. As is typical with an international business class ticket, you are granted access to a lounge. In this case, it'll be take your pick of any of the 5, yes, there are 5, of the Delta Sky Clubs in the Detroit airport. 2 of the biggest ones will be on your right and left after you exit security, and then there are 3 other smaller ones scattered throughout the terminal. None of them are particularly mind-blowing, but also none of them are particularly bad. Sometimes there will be fun things going on. Like once I came in here and there was a Coney dog station, which was pretty good. Although I'm not sure if it's such a wise idea to pump people full of hot dogs and chili and onions before getting on a flight. Regardless of the food offerings, I do like to pace myself on what I eat in the club so that I have room left over to enjoy all of the food on the plane. Not sure whether that is the right or wrong approach. I'm sure on average, food cooked in a lounge is of better quality than airplane food, but hey, it's fun to have business class food at 35,000 feet, and what's the point if you're not having fun? Speaking of fun, take a look at this beauty. We'll be flying a 3-year-old Airbus A330-900neo, with neo meaning new engine option, or so I'm told by Google. This particular flight is scheduled to depart Detroit at 6:40 p.m. and land in Paris at 8:25 a.m. I do love a good overnight flight where you can sleep and hit the ground running at your destination. I will say though, with the flight to Paris from the east coast of the US being only 8-ish hours, it's really hardly enough time to get any proper rest. I don't know about you though, but typically the excitement of being in a new place keeps me going regardless. Alright, I'm telling you, Delta was kind of in their bag here with the new business class cabins. I love the boxy feel of the cabin, it just feels so organized and intentional. And obviously, it is a good thing for every seat to have direct aisle access. I avoid airlines like the plague where you pay for business class but yet have to crawl over people to get to the bathroom. 5 Alpha will be our home for the next 8 or so hours, and I really mean it. These things are nice. I was thoroughly impressed with the amount of room you have, not only in the seat, but also in the little counter thing to the side of the seat, because I always bring a lot of crap on the flight and love to have plenty of room to put it. You get a couple of goodies at your seat too. This thingy is a mattress pad that doubles as lumbar support when it's folded up like this. Of course, you have the slippers that are always too small for big-footed folk like me. Delta also has a relatively new partnership with Missoni to provide the bedding and amenity kits. More on that later. You also have the standard headphones that are fine, but worse than whatever kind you already brought. There's also tons of individual controls for your suite, including my favorite, this little lamp. It isn't really bright enough to be a reading light, but I do like that there is another option for light in your suite other than an overhead lamp. You'll find the TV remote and a mirror underneath the armrest. I'm 6'3", I know, sick brag, and there's plenty of room for my giant legs and feet. Thank you Delta for not being height discriminatory. Good news, friends! The champagne has arrived. Or, well, the sparkling wine. Don't expect to get any high-class offerings on Delta. What you thought this was? Emirates? Regardless, it's nice to have something before departure. Alright, let's get this party started. A beautiful day for flying, if I do say so myself. I'm a big window guy, so I really like flying on clear days. Nothing more annoying than when you know you're flying over some really cool landscapes and all you can see out of your window is a bunch of clouds. Shout out to Spirit, by the way, the little airline that keeps fighting despite filing for bankruptcy twice this year and getting its merger with JetBlue rejected. Keep fighting, little buddy. Hello, Delta A350. I will fly you one day. Service began once we got to around 36,000 feet. A hot towel that I'm still not sure what to do with was provided, along with a paper menu showcasing the food and beverage options for the flight. Feel free to pause the video at any time to see all of the options that were offered. Why don't you hit the like button too while you're paused? The purser first brought around the drink cart and recommended that I go with the Spanish wine instead of the French one, which I thought was kind of funny since we are going to France. Nonetheless, who am I to argue with the man? And I won't lie, the Spanish wine was very good. Shortly after the wine came all of the starters at once. They were all just okay, with the exception of the soup, which was great. I don't know what Delta's doing, but I've never had a bad soup on a Delta flight. Next up was the main course, which was one that was only available if you pre-ordered before your flight. It was super good. Can definitely recommend this one. It's time for the grand finale. Yes, that is the dessert cart that you see. There were options of an ice cream sundae, cheese plate, and a chocolate cake. I chose the chocolate cake and was not disappointed. I loved it. Okay, should we dig into the Amenity kit? I really do love the little bag that it came in. It's high quality, which is great because I tend to hoard these things, so this one is definitely coming home with me. Pretty standard stuff on the inside. Lotion, toothpaste, toothbrush, lip balm, earplugs, pen, socks, and an eye mask. Missoni also provides the bedding. In the mystery bag, you get one pillow and your mattress pad that looks like this once it's assembled. I've got a question for you. I always see bigger YouTubers mention that the flight attendants will make up their bed for them while they're in the restroom or something. Is that something that normal people are asking for / should I be asking for that? I just always make up my own bed, but maybe I'm missing something. Do y'all ask the flight attendants to do that? Let me know. Anyways, I know that people as a concept know that having a closing door on your suite is nice, but I actually think that it is my single favorite thing about flying business class when it's available. It's just so nice to have that privacy. And honestly, even with the door closed, this suite still felt plenty big. I didn't feel confined at all. So I'm gonna run through the IFE here at 4 times speed because who actually wants to see me fumble around with movies and shows that will likely have changed by the time you fly anyways? All you really need to know is that the screen was large and responsive and the picture was really crisp. Delta also has a pretty decent flight tracker. I was a fan of this setting that has a ton of fun information. I ended up sleeping for 3 hours or so, pretty good deep sleep actually, and woke up about an hour before landing. What better time than 1 hour before landing to show you the bathroom? Nothing too special to report in here, it looks like your standard bathroom. Kind of funny though, one of the flight attendants told me that there was no forward lavatory and that the only business class bathroom was in the rear of the business class cabin, which was just completely not true, so I'm not sure if it was her first day on the job or she just got the plane type wrong or what really happened. Anyways, I returned back to my seat as the pre-landing meal was being served. I opted for a crisp ginger ale and the hot option for breakfast, which was this really delicious spinach and feta tart with a chocolate pastry and some fresh fruit. We were all given little chocolates too as the purser came around and thanked us for our business before landing. I was once again thankful for a nice clear day as we began to land in Paris. Always crazy to me how when you think you're landing in a big city like Paris, you expect to see a ton of buildings and roads and things like that, but for most cities, it's almost always fields and grass. Obviously, the airport is not smack downtown most of the time, and that's why. I just expected to see more suburbs, I guess is all. Enjoy the music as we come into land. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you get to try the new Delta One suites very soon. I thoroughly enjoyed the hard product and the service on board and would definitely fly them again. If you're still around, please do not forget to like and subscribe this video and to share with one friend. It'll help me grow the channel and share my content with even more people. Thanks again and have a wonderful rest of your day.